My 25th birthday party was ruined. The 8-layer fondant cake, purely handmade and custom-ordered, was accidentally knocked over by my boyfriend Ryan's assistant, Olivia. Red wine mixed with cream, splashing all over the floor. A complete mess. But Ryan protected Olivia at the first possible moment, saying to me, "She didn't do it on purpose." I looked at him, as if looking at a stranger, because I have experienced this scene once before. "Amelia, I'm sorry. I really didn't do it on purpose." Olivia, wearing a pure white dress, was now hiding behind Ryan, crying a river of tears, her shoulders trembling slightly, looking extremely pitiful. The guests present were whispering to each other, their gazes shifting back and forth between me, Ryan, and Olivia. There was sympathy. There was watching a show. And there was also undisguised ridicule. My parents' faces had already become extremely ugly. Ryan frowned, his tone carrying a trace of impatient appeasement. "Amelia, stop making a scene. Today is your birthday. Olivia is just clumsy. I'll have her buy you an identical one later to make it up to you." In my previous life, hearing these words, I trembled with anger. I rushed up to question him. Who exactly was his girlfriend? Why would he embarrass me like this in front of an outsider? We had a huge fight and parted on bad terms. That ruined birthday party became the beginning of all my subsequent pain. In order to win him back, I lowered my bottom line time and again, becoming humble and ridiculous, and finally ended my pathetic life in depression. When I opened my eyes again, I was back at the moment the cake was knocked over. This time, I don't want to argue anymore. Watching the clumsy drama unfolding before me, I couldn't even feel a ripple in my heart. I just feel that myself in my previous life was so pitifully stupid. Making a scene. I repeated this word softly, a very faint smile gracing the corners of my mouth. What scene am I making? My calmness was clearly unexpected by Ryan and Olivia. Ryan was stunned. A belly full of excuses he had prepared got stuck in his throat. Olivia's crying also hitched for a moment. She peeked out from behind Ryan, looking at me timidly, with a hint of hard-to-detect probing in her eyes. I paid them no mind. I scanned the banquet hall and picked up a glass of red wine from a nearby waiter's tray. Then, I slowly walked towards Olivia. My high heels made a crisp sound on the smooth marble floor, as if sounding the prelude to this good show. Ryan subconsciously held Olivia even tighter, watching me warily. "Amelia, what are you trying to do?" I smiled. "Don't be nervous. I just think Assistant Lynn is scared and I'd like to offer her a toast to calm her nerves." As I said that, I raised my glass. Olivia squeezed out a smile uglier than crying, and reached out to take the wine glass. Just as her fingertips were about to touch the glass, my wrist tilted unintentionally. Splash! A whole glass of crimson red wine was splashed all over Olivia's expensive white dress, from head to toe, red, dyeing the white. Shocking to the eye. The air froze in an instant. Everyone was stunned by this sudden turn of events. Olivia screamed, looking down at the messy stain on her dress. The pitiful look on her face instantly shattered, leaving only shock and anger. My dress." Ryan finally reacted. He pushed me away abruptly, the force so strong that it made me stagger. He took off his suit jacket and draped it over Olivia, his voice filled with suppressed anger. "Amelia, are you crazy?" I steadied myself, watching him nervously check if Olivia was scalded. That cherished and treasured manner, more attentive than to me, his actual girlfriend. From my heart came a familiar dull ache. That was a memory left in the body, from a past life. I lowered my eyelids, and when I lifted them again, my eyes were already icy cold. "I'm not crazy." I mimicked his tone from just now, and spoke slowly and deliberately. "I'm just clumsy. It wasn't on purpose." "Ryan, she didn't do it on purpose. So does that mean I did it on purpose? Shouldn't you be telling me it's okay?" Every single word clearly entered the ears of everyone present. Ryan's face instantly turned the color of a pig's liver. He looked at me, his lips moving, but he couldn't utter a single word. The gazes of the surrounding guests towards him had changed from watching a show to naked contempt. That's right. Both were accidents. He could make excuses for his assistant, but instead he turned around and blamed his girlfriend. This favoritism was a bit too obvious. You're just twisting words and forcing logic." Ryan held it in for a long time before squeezing out this sentence. "Is that so?" I took off the birthday present he gave me from around my neck. It was a diamond necklace named Heart of Eternity, worth tens of millions, and was once my most treasured possession. Now, in my eyes, it's nothing more than a cold stone. I casually tossed it with a flick of my hand. The necklace drew a brilliant parabola in the air, and then with a clatter, it hit the floor, and the loose diamonds scattered. This thing, just like your heart, is worthless. I looked at Ryan's instantly deathly pale face and declared, word by word, Ryan, we're over. After speaking, without giving him another glance, I turned around and, under everyone's shocked gazes, resolutely walked out of the banquet hall. Behind me was a deathly silence, and the sound of my parents suppressing their anger. The phone in my handbag was vibrating like crazy. It was Ryan. I pressed the reject button, walking out of the hotel entrance. The evening breeze blew on my face, bringing a hint of coolness, but I felt incredibly clear-headed. The nightmare that had entangled me for half my life in my past life. This time, I ended it early with my own hands. So good. I didn't go back to the apartment I shared with Ryan, but instead took a taxi back to a studio apartment under my name. I hadn't lived here for a long time, but a cleaning lady came regularly, so it was still spotless. I kicked off my high heels, threw myself into the soft sofa, and let out a long sigh of relief. My body was exhausted, but my spirit was more relaxed than ever before. No more suspicion, no more arguing, no more exhausting my heart and soul for a man who didn't love me. The feeling of rebirth. It turns out to be this good. The phone kept ringing persistently. I found it noisy and turned it off directly. The world became quiet. I got up and went to the bathroom, took a good long shower, as if to wash away all the bad luck from my past life. After changing into comfortable silk pajamas, I poured myself a glass of red wine and walked to the French window. Outside the window was the brilliant night view of the city. Thousands of lights. Yet not a single one was left on for me. In my past life, I always felt lonely. But now, I only feel free. Early the next morning, I was woken up by the sound of the doorbell. I went to open the door with a head of messy hair, and standing outside was my best friend, Audrey. As soon as she saw me, she gave me a big bear hug. Amelia, you finally figured it out. Well done. Audrey burst in like a whirlwind and slapped the tablet in her hand down in front of me. Quick, look, you're trending. On the screen was a video from last night's birthday banquet. I don't know which guest filmed it, but the angle was tricky, capturing the motion of me splashing red wine on Olivia as both beautiful and badass. The titles were even more varied. Wealthy heiress rips apart green tea assistant. Most hardcore main chick in history. How to elegantly get revenge on a cheating boyfriend. In the comments section, the support for me was almost one-sided. Sis is so badass. I'm a fan now. This assistant is obviously a green tea bitch. Throwing the cake and then hiding behind the man to cry. What a classic move. Is this guy blind? Ditching a real heiress who's so pretty and rich to protect a little assistant. To the person above. You think he's blind. He's shrewd. I heard this little assistant's background isn't simple. Her dad is a high-level executive at some group, and this guy's company happens to be in talks for a partnership with that group right now. Seeing this comment, my hand holding the water glass paused for a moment. This matter. In my previous life, I only found out about much later. At that time, Ryan had already relied on Olivia's father's connections to successfully secure that multi-billion-dollar project. His company's scale had multiplied several times, and he had become a new star in the business world overnight. And I became the stumbling block on his road to success, the one he kicked away without any mercy. He enjoyed the resources and connections my family brought him, while at the same time despising my princessy attitude, and that I wasn't understanding enough. What he needed was someone like Olivia, a good wife and helpmate who could both bring him practical benefits and satisfy his male chauvinistic vanity. How laughable. I was foolish enough to think that as long as I loved him enough, I could get his true love in return. Ran. What are you thinking about? Audrey nudged me. I came back to my senses and shook my head. It's nothing. I just feel that my past self was pretty stupid. That's not called being stupid. It's called being love-brained. Audrey poked my forehead in exasperation. Good thing it's not too late to wake up now. That scumbag. And that green tea. What are you going to do? What to do? I smiled, picked up my phone, and turned it on. Instantly, countless missed calls and text messages flooded in. Most of them were from Ryan. There were angry questions, impatient urgings, and later on, they turned into explanations and pleas to stay, tinged with a hint of panic. I didn't read a single one, and just deleted them all. Then, I found the housekeeping company's number and dialed it. Hello. I'd like to book an in-home packing service. The address is Star River Bay, Block A, 1801. Pack up all the men's items that don't belong to the mistress of the house and send them to the 32nd floor of the Global Center. To Mr. Ryan's company. Oh, right. Tell them to have it delivered within an hour. Hanging up the phone, I saw Audrey looking at me with an adoring expression. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Amelia, you're totally my idol. I raised an eyebrow. This is just the appetizer. As soon as the words were out, the phone rang. It was a strange number. I answered it, and Ryan's flustered and exasperated voice came through. Amelia, what on earth do you want? You threw all my things out, and changed the locks. Those are not your things. They are mine. I corrected him. Also, that is not your home. It is mine. Now, please leave my house. You. He seemed to be choked up by my words, and only after a long pause did he say, Where are you? Let's meet and have a proper talk. There's nothing to talk about. Amelia, can you stop being so childish? Making such a scene over a small matter. Is it fun? His tone carried that high and mighty impatience again. I laughed. A small matter. Ryan, in your eyes, my birthday, my dignity, are all small matters. Right. That's not what I meant. That is exactly what you meant. I interrupted him. Ryan, the game is over. From now on, you go your sunny way, and I'll walk my single plank bridge. We are through with each other. After saying that, I hung up the phone directly and blocked him. The whole series of actions was as smooth as flowing clouds and water. Audrey watched from the side, dumbfounded, and then burst into enthusiastic applause. Queen behavior. Amelia, I declare, from today onwards, you are Nyohuru Amelia. I was amused by her, and the gloom of the past few days seemed to have dissipated a lot. Yeah, after leaving the wrong person, even the sky has brightened up. However, I didn't expect that Ryan's pestering had only just begun. The next day, I went back to my family's company. My dad is the chairman of Wen's group, and I am his only daughter. In my previous life, for the sake of so-called love, to prove that I wasn't just a decorative vase who could only rely on my family, I rejected my father's proposal to let me join the company to learn, and ran off to be Ryan's virtuous domestic helper at his shabby little company. Thinking about it now, I must have had my head caught in a door. Such a huge family business was waiting for me to inherit. Yet I ran off to do poverty alleviation. When I walked into my dad's office, he was wearing reading glasses and looking at a document. Seeing me come in, he just lifted his eyelids. Figured it out. Yeah, figured it out. I nodded and sat down across from him. Dad, I'm sorry. I was ignorant before. My dad put down the document, took off his glasses, and rubbed the bridge of his nose. It's good that you're back. He sighed, his tone a mix of heartache and relief. You're the daughter of the Wynn family. It's never too late for anything. That kid, Ryan, I'll make him pay the price. No need, Dad. I shook my head. His matter. I want to handle it myself. My dad stared at me for a few seconds, then nodded. Good. You are truly my Wenzangshing's daughter. If you need anything, just tell Dad directly. I want the bidding rights for that project in the south of the city. I got straight to the point. The South City project was the very one Ryan's company was now going all out for. The one he was counting on his relationship with Olivia's father to secure. In my last life, Wen's also participated in the bidding. But, because I was love-brained at the time, in order not to make things difficult for Ryan, I privately persuaded my dad to go easy on them. Now, not only am I going to take back this project, I'm also going to make Ryan suffer a crushing defeat. A hint of approval flashed in my dad's eyes. No problem. From today on, you will be fully in charge of this project. When I walked out of my dad's office, I felt my whole body filled with strength. This is the life that should be mine, not revolving around a man and losing myself. I had just gotten to the private office that was arranged for me, and my seat wasn't even warm yet when the intercom rang. It was the front desk. President 1. There's a Mr. Gu downstairs looking for you. He says his name is Ryan. And he's your. I don't know him. I cut her off coldly. Have security see him out. From now on, this person and a fly named Olivia are forbidden from setting foot in our company building. Yes, President 1. After hanging up, I walked over to the huge floor-to-ceiling window. Downstairs, Ryan was being held by 2 security guards and dragged out. He struggled, looking up towards my office, his face full of disbelief and humiliation. He had probably never imagined that one day he would be thrown out in such a sorry state by the Wenz Group's security. Soon, several cars with media logos on them stopped at the company entrance. A swarm of reporters rushed forward, surrounding Ryan. The camera flashes blinked incessantly, clearly documenting his embarrassing state at that moment. I knew without thinking. This was Audrey's doing. I curled my lips into a small smile and turned back to my desk. On the desk lay all the documents for the Changnan project. Ryan, this is just the beginning. In the afternoon, news about President of Gus being shut out by Wen's group spread throughout the entire business circle. The accompanying picture was an embarrassing photo of him being dragged away by security guards. Right after, Olivia started stirring up trouble again. She posted a suggestive piece of text on her social media account. The innocent will prove themselves innocent, and the guilty, guilty. In love, there is no right or wrong, only love or no love. I just hope no innocent people get hurt because of me. Below it, she attached a photo of her wrist wrapped in gauze, as if to imply that I had injured her when I threw red wine on her. The comment section instantly erupted into a heated debate. Some were calling her a scheming bitch, while others, with their bleeding hearts, came to criticize me for not being magnanimous enough. I looked at those comments and just found them laughable. Just then, a call came in from an unknown number. I thought it was Ryan again and was about to hang up. But as if by some strange impulse, I answered it. On the other end of the line came a deep and unfamiliar male voice. Is this Miss Amelia? Speaking. Hello. My name is Lu Jingshin. Lu Jingshin. This name. I remember it. In my past life, he was Ryan's strongest rival. Their 2 companies fought to the death. In the end, it seemed that Lu Jingshin lost. His company went bankrupt, and he disappeared without a trace. What do you want? I asked. I think we might have a common enemy. His voice betrayed no emotion, yet it carried a sharpness that seemed to see through everything. Ryan. And Olivia. My heart stirred. Miss 1. Interested in a cup of tea? I met up with Lu Jingshin at a secluded tea house. He was younger and more handsome than I had imagined, in a well-tailored black suit that made him look tall and straight. He had deep-set eyes, a high-bridged nose, and thin, tightly pressed lips, exuding a powerful, unapproachable aura. He looked less like a businessman and more like an unsheathed sharp blade, his cutting edge fully exposed. He got straight to the point. Ryan got to where he is today by stepping on my corpse. He handed me a document. I opened it. Inside was evidence that Ryan's company stole business secrets from Lu Jingshin's company. The timing was right before Ryan won that key project. He used Olivia to trick a senior executive at my company into giving up our core technology and bidding proposal, then modified them slightly and made them his own. Lu Jingshin's voice was very calm, as if he were talking about something that had nothing to do with him, but I could feel the overwhelming hatred suppressed beneath that calmness. Olivia was not only the bridge he used to get in with her father, but also the weapon he used against me. I looked at the evidence in my hand, and my heart sank little by little. In my previous life, I only knew that Ryan had one, but I had no idea he used such despicable means. And I was still foolishly proud of his success. Why are you only showing these to me now? I asked. Because the time is right. Lu Jingshin looked at me, his dark eyes bottomless. Before, I wasn't strong enough to go against him. If I had rashly brought this out, he would have just turned it against me. But now, it's different. He paused, then continued. Because of you, Miss 1. I understood. The Wenz Group's power was far greater than Ryan's company. If I took action, plus the evidence he had, it would be enough to make Ryan fall, never to rise again. Why should I help you? I retorted. What's in it for me? The benefit is, you can personally destroy the man who betrayed you. Lu Jingshin's voice carried a hint of seduction. make him fall from the clouds into the mud. Left with nothing. Is that reason enough? Enough. Of course it's enough. There is nothing more satisfying than watching an enemy fall from a great height. Besides these, I also have a gift to give you. As Lu Jingshin spoke, he took a small USB drive from his pocket and pushed it in front of me. In here, there's some interesting stuff about Olivia. The corners of his mouth curled into a knowing smile. I think Miss Wen will definitely be interested. When I got home, the first thing I did was the USB drive into my computer. There was only one audio file inside. I clicked play, and Olivia's cutesy voice immediately came out of the speakers. It was a recording of a phone call between her and her bestie. That Amelia. She's just a silly, sweet, and naive girl. She's got the family background, but her brain doesn't work at all. Ryan has her wrapped around his little finger. And Ryan, seriously, he only has me in his heart, but he insists on stringing that woman along. Isn't it just for her family's connections? Once his company goes public, it'll definitely make him kick that stupid woman to the curb. You have no idea how obsessed he is with me. Every time in the office, he would. The words that followed became more and more explicit. Too indecent to hear. I listened with a blank expression. But inside, a storm was raging. In my past life, Ryan always told me that he and Olivia just had a simple boss and employee relationship, telling me not to overthink it. Turns out, they had been carrying on a secret affair and sleeping together for a long time. And I was the biggest joke, the one who was kept in the dark. Inside the USB drive, there was a second file. It was some bank transfer records. The payee was Olivia, and the payer's account name was Lu Jingshin. My pupils contracted sharply. What's going on with this? Olivia is also involved with Lu Jingshin. Just as I was reeling from the shock, my phone rang. It was Ryan, calling from an unknown number. I answered it, and his voice, choked with sobs and almost pleading, came from the other end of the line. Amelia, I was wrong. I was really wrong. I fired Olivia. And I've also terminated the project with her dad. Please come back. Okay. Amelia, I'm begging you. Just give me one more chance. Listening to his hypocritical repentance, I only felt disgusted. Fire her. I sneered. Ryan, do you have the heart to? She is your most capable virtuous helper. After all. Amelia, what do you mean? I don't mean anything. I didn't want to waste any more words on him and directly sent him the audio recording of the phone call between Olivia and her best friend. Then, I sent a text message. Have a listen to how your innocent assistant evaluates you. After doing all this, I leaned back in my chair and closed my eyes. Ryan, the real show has just begun. The pain you inflicted upon me, I will make you pay it back 100-fold. Ryan's breakdown came faster than I had expected. Early the next morning, Audrey excitedly called me. Big news. Big news. Ryan and Olivia got into a fight at the entrance of the company building. I raised an eyebrow and opened the financial news app. They were the top headline. In the video, Ryan's eyes were bloodshot, like an enraged beast, as he tightly choked Olivia by the neck. You dare to play me? Olivia's hair was a mess and her makeup was ruined from crying. There wasn't the slightest trace of her usual frail, White Lotus appearance. She struggled and screamed. Ryan, you're crazy. Let go of me. You're the stupid one. Getting tricked by me and even helping me count the money. In front of all the employees and the media. The two of them aired out all their dirty secrets. One accused the other of being a corporate spy, colluding with outsiders to screw him over. One accused the other of being a Phoenix man, who just wanted to dump her after using her. The scene was so ugly. It was practically the drama of the year. Ryan's company's stock price plummeted in response, hitting the limit down less than 10 minutes after the market opened. When a wall is falling, everyone gives it a push. The companies whose projects Ryan had previously stolen through unfair means all came forward, jointly accusing him of commercial fraud. Among them was Lu Jingshin's company, and I, on behalf of the Wen's Group, formally announced that we would fully acquire the Chengnan project. Furthermore, we proposed a cooperation plan that was more favorable than any of the previous bidders. The partners were the very same companies that Ryan had offended before. We formed a business alliance with only one goal: to completely force Ryan's company out of the market. This series of combination punches left Ryan completely unable to fight back. In just 3 short days, his company fell into an unprecedented crisis. The capital chain broke, projects halted, shareholders withdrew their investments, and employees resigned. He went from a dashing new star in the business world to a heavily indebted stray dog. As for Olivia, her reputation was utterly ruined. Not only did Ryan sue her for a huge amount in compensation, but her father's company was also implicated, with the board of directors urgently halting all partnerships. And her father himself was even removed from his post. She went from a rich girl envied by everyone to a rat in the street that everyone loathes. I sat in my office, watching the negative news constantly refreshing on the screen, and calmly took a sip of coffee. All of this should have belonged to them in the previous life. It's just that it came too late. Lu Jingshin called. Miss Wen, a pleasure working with you. There was a faint, almost unnoticeable hint of a smile in his voice. A pleasure working with you, I said. Are you free tonight? Let's celebrate. I thought about it and agreed. After all, he was considered my comrade in arms. However, just as I was about to leave work for the appointment, I received an unexpected call. It was Ryan's mother. On the phone, her voice was filled with weariness and apology. Ran. Auntie knows this isn't a good time to call you, but Chen, he's not going to make it. He's locked himself in his room, not eating or drinking, seeing no one. And he keeps repeating your name. Auntie is begging you. Can you come see him? Just take it as taking pity on Auntie. I clutched my phone and fell silent. In my past life, Mother Gu was very good to me, always treating me like her own daughter. For Ryan's company to get off the ground, Mother Gu also used a lot of connections from her maiden family. It's just that later, because of the matter with Olivia, we gradually grew distant. Now, hearing her almost pleading tone, I felt a bit uneasy. But sympathy doesn't mean forgiveness. Auntie, I'm sorry. I finally hardened my heart. He and I are already over. After hanging up, I leaned back in my chair and wearily closed my eyes. My phone vibrated. It was a text message from an unknown number. I opened it. It was a photo. Ryan was kneeling outside the main gate of my villa. The rain had soaked his hair and clothes, and he looked completely wretched and dejected. Below the photo, there was also a sentence. Amelia, I know I was wrong. I'm begging you. Please see me just once. I stood before my second-floor bedroom window, expressionlessly watching the figure kneeling in the rain below. The rain was pouring down. Large raindrops smashed against the ground, splashing up rings of water. Ryan just knelt there ramrod straight, but his back was no longer as upright as before, instead exuding a sense of defeat from being crushed by reality. Audrey was by my side, swirling the red wine glass in her hand, clicking her tongue in amazement. Not bad. He's even resorting to a self-pity act. If he knew it would come to this, why did he bother in the first place? She leaned over and nudged me with her elbow. Hey, you're not going soft, are you? I withdrew my gaze and drew the curtains, shutting out the unsightly view. Go soft. My heart already died in my last life. I picked up my wine glass from the table and clinked it against hers. To our belated victory. Cheers. Seeing that I was truly not the least bit moved, Audrey was finally relieved and clinked her glass with mine. That's right. To our victory. To the downfall of that scumbag. Cheers. I don't know how long Ryan knelt downstairs. All I know is, from the afternoon to deep into the night, he never left. This matter soon made the news again. Former Sia Nielsen rain begging Tajit back Together. The direction of public opinion started to become a bit subtle. Some people said he deserved it, while others started to feel sorry for him. Some people even went to my social media accounts to leave comments, advising me to be forgiving when you can. Looking at those sanctimonious comments, I just found them utterly ridiculous. The needle isn't pricking them, so they'll never know how much it hurts. My revenge in this life seems ruthless, but compared to the despair and pain I endured in my last life, what does this even count as? A little after 10 at night, I got a call from my mom. Amelia, that Ryan is still kneeling downstairs. The rain outside is so heavy. Don't let this cause someone's death. My mom's tone was full of worry. Mom, you don't need to mind him. He's a grown man. Kneeling for a while won't kill him. I comforted her. You and Dad get some rest. Don't get angry over an irrelevant person. Oh, you child, my mom sighed. and ultimately didn't say anything more. I knew my parents were just worried about me. After hanging up, I was about to go wash up when the apartment's intercom suddenly rang. I pressed the answer button, and the anxious voice of the downstairs lobby manager came through. "Miss One, this is bad. That Mr. Gu downstairs. He's fainted." The hand I was holding the receiver with tightened slightly. "We've already called an ambulance." "Got it," I replied calmly, then hung up the phone. Audrey looked at me nervously. Ran. "You?" "I'm fine." I shook my head. "Let's go. Didn't we plan to have dinner with Lu Jingshan? If we don't go soon, he'll get anxious." I changed my clothes, put on some delicate makeup, and went out with Audrey. As we passed through the lobby, an ambulance came roaring up, and several paramedics rushed in with a stretcher. I walked past without a sideways glance, as if the person who was about to be on that stretcher had nothing to do with me. After getting into Audrey's car, she still looked at me, a little worried. "You really don't feel anything at all?" "I do." I faced the rearview mirror, touched up my lipstick, my smile bright and gorgeous. "I think my lipstick color tonight looks especially good." Audrey was stunned for a moment. Then she smiled too. "Yes, it's especially beautiful. A queen should wear true red." The restaurant was booked by Lu Jingshan, a rooftop revolving restaurant with great privacy. When we arrived, he was already there. He wasn't wearing a suit today, but a casual gray cashmere sweater, which made him look less sharp from the business world and more gentle and refined. "Sorry we're late," I said. "It's no problem. A lady is worth waiting for." He stood up and pulled out the chair for me, his movements gentlemanly. "Is the farce downstairs handled?" he asked, seemingly casually. "Not a farce. Just a one-man show with no audience," I said lightly. Lu Jingshan's dark, deep eyes looked at me, as if trying to read something from my face. "You seem colder than I imagined." Someone whose heart has been broken to pieces finds it hard to warm up again. I met his gaze without flinching. "CEO Lu, let's just talk business. I don't want to waste any more time on Ryan. Regarding the Chungnan project, for the follow-up development, I have some new ideas." Lu Jingshan watched me quickly switch into work mode, a hint of admiration flashing in his eyes. "Okay, I'm all ears." We had a very pleasant meal. We talked about the project, the market, and future business strategies. I discovered that Lu Jingshan is not only a competent businessman, but also an interesting soul. He is knowledgeable and witty, and his perspective on issues is always very sharp. Talking with him is very pleasant. After the meal, Lu Jingshan insisted on driving me home. The car stopped downstairs from my apartment building. Just as I was about to get out, Lu Jingshan suddenly spoke. "Amelia." It was the first time he called me by my name, instead of Miss One. "HM. The matter with Ryan isn't completely over yet." His voice was deep. "There's someone behind him." A chill went through my heart. "Who?" "Someone you wouldn't expect." Lu Jingshan didn't say it outright, just gave me a deep look. "Be careful of the people around you." After saying that, he said no more, just motioned for me to get out of the car. I went home, full of doubt. Be careful of the people around me. Who could it be? Audrey. Impossible. My parents. Even more impossible. Then who is it? I racked my brain and couldn't figure it out. Until late at night, I received a phone call. On the other end of the line was an old and familiar voice. It was Ryan's grandma. In my past life, she was extremely good to me, and had even secretly given me a sum of money after Ryan and I broke up, so that I could live a good life. It's just that later, after I died, I never heard any news of her again. Amelia. On the other end of the line, the old lady was sobbing uncontrollably. "Come and see Grandma." "Okay." "Grandma misses you." "Grandma. What's wrong?" My heart tightened. "Grandma's dying. Before she dies, she just wanted to see you one last time." My heart instantly clenched. When I rushed to the hospital, everyone from the Gu family was there. Father Gu, Mother Gu, and also Ryan. He was wearing a hospital gown, his face pale, and he had an 4 drip in his hand. When he saw me, his eyes lit up instantly, and he struggled to get up from the hospital bed. "Amelia." I ignored him and walked straight to Grandma Gus' bedside. The old lady was lying in bed, wearing an oxygen mask, her breathing faint, as if she could stop breathing at any moment. Seeing me, 2 streams of hot tears flowed from her cloudy eyes. She struggled to raise her hand, reaching for me. I quickly held her withered, cold hand. Grandma, I'm here. My voice was a little choked up. I truly respected this old woman. Good child, she gasped with difficulty. Grandma knows it's Achin who wronged you. Grandma is sorry for you. Grandma, please don't say that. I held back my tears. Just focus on getting better. You'll be okay. She shook her head, her gaze shifting to Ryan. Her eyes filled with disappointment and pain. I'm not going to make it, I only have one wish. She looked at me, then at Ryan, her eyes full of pleading. Amelia, can you give Achin one more chance? For the sake of Grandma who is about to die. My heart sank suddenly. It's like this again. Using family ties to guilt trip me. It was like this in my past life, too. When Ryan made a mistake, the Goof family would take turns, playing the family card to make me soften up and forgive him. Again and again. I looked at the dying old woman on the hospital bed, then at the expectant faces of the Goof parents beside her, and Ryan, whose eyes had a flicker of hope again. I suddenly found it very ironic. I took a deep breath and slowly pulled my hand back. Grandma, I'm sorry. My voice was as cold as ice. I can't do it. Everyone was stunned. Mother Goo looked at me in disbelief. Amelia, how can you say that? Grandma is already in this state. Yeah, Amelia. Just take pity on us and give Achin another chance. Father Goo also chimed in to persuade. Ryan even knelt down directly, shuffled over to me on his knees, and grabbed my pant leg. Amelia, I'm begging you. As long as you promise Grandma, I'll do anything. I'll give you the company. I'll even give you my life. Snot and tears streamed down his face as he cried. A complete mess. I looked down at him, not a ripple of emotion in my eyes. Your company. Do you even have a company now? Your life. Is your life worth anything? I kicked his hand away, as if it was something dirty. Ryan, save your cheap tears. This little act of yours and your family doesn't work on me anymore. After saying that, I turned to leave. Stop. Behind me, a resonant, angry shout suddenly came. I turned my head, only to see Grandma Goo, who was on her last breath just a moment ago, had now taken off her oxygen mask and sat up from the hospital bed. Her face was ruddy, not at all looking like a person on the verge of death. She pointed at me and cursed sternly. Amelia, you ungrateful, heartless wolf. How has our Goo family wronged you? Achin just made a small mistake. Do you really have to hound him to his death? I watched this farce of a sudden change of face unfold before me, and instead of getting angry, I laughed. So, this was another meticulously planned setup. The purpose was just to trick me into coming here and force me to submit. A small mistake. I retorted with a cold laugh. Grandma, do you call cheating, betrayal, and business fraud a small mistake? You. Grandma Goo was choked speechless by me, her old face flushing bright red. I see it now. I glanced around at this whole family of drama queens. You people from the Goo family, from the old to the young, are all the same kind of trash. You'll stop at nothing to get what you want. Amelia, don't you dare talk about my mom like that. Ryan yelled at me, his eyes red. Was I wrong? I looked at him, my gaze contemptuous. Ryan, you're so pathetic. Even now, you're still hoping to win me back by relying on your family, by faking sickness and playing the victim. You will never know where you went wrong. I ignored them and turned to stride away. From behind came Grandma Gus's furious and exasperated curses, and Ryan's desperate roars. Walking out of the hospital room, I leaned against the cold hallway wall and let out a long, heavy breath. In my heart, the last bit of feeling I had for the Goo family also completely vanished. Just then, my phone rang. It was Lu Jingshin. Where are you? His voice was as steady as ever. The hospital. What happened? His voice carried a hint of nervousness. Nothing. Just watched a good show. I laughed self-deprecatingly. The other end of the line was silent for a few seconds. Send me the address. No need. Send it to me. His tone left no room for argument. As if possessed, I sent the hospital's address to him. 10 minutes later, Lu Jingshin appeared at the end of the hallway. He strode towards me, his tense expression softening only after seeing I was unharmed. Let's go. I'll take you home. He naturally took my hand. His palm was broad and warm, carrying a reassuring strength. I didn't pull away. Just as we turned to leave, Ryan suddenly rushed out of the hospital room. When he saw Lu Jingshan holding my hand, his eyes instantly turned red. Lu Jingshan. Let go of her. He charged over like a mad bull, swinging his fist to hit Lu Jingshan. Lu Jingshan reacted extremely quickly. He pulled me behind him and sidestepped, dodging Ryan's fist. Then, he grabbed Ryan's wrist with a backhand grip and twisted it hard. Ryan let out a miserable scream as he was easily subdued by Lu Jingshan and pressed against the wall. You think you're worthy of touching her? Lu Jingshan's voice was as cold as if quenched in ice, his eyes filled with hostility. That was a kind of absolute oppressive aura belonging to a superior that I had never seen before. Ryan's face was pale from the pain, and cold sweat dripped down, but he still roared at me, unreconciled. Amelia, you found your next man so quickly. What did he give you to make you follow him so devotedly? You're with him just for his money and power. How are you any different from me? I looked at his face, twisted with jealousy, and only found it laughable. The difference is, he's more open and honest than you. Besides, Ryan, you've gotten one thing wrong. I walked up to him, looking down on him. It's not that I'm after his money and power. It's that I, myself, have money and power. Everything I, Amelia, want, I can get on my own. But you, without women, without your schemes, what do you have left? My words, like sharp knives, stabbed fiercely into Ryan's heart. He stared at me blankly, his lips trembling, unable to utter a single word. That's right. The success he was so proud of was just built on riding women's coattails and despicable means. Peel away that hypocritical exterior, and he is nothing. Let him go, I said to Lu Jingshan. Getting tangled up with this kind of person will only lower my own standing. Lu Jingshan let go. Ryan, like a pile of mud, slid down the wall to sit on the floor. He watched the backs of me and Lu Jingshan leaving side by side, his eyes filled with despair and indignation. Amelia, you'll regret this. You will definitely regret this. His roars echoed in the empty hallway. I didn't look back. Regret. The thing I regret the most is that in my previous life, I failed to see his true colors sooner. Sitting in Lu Jingshan's car, the atmosphere inside was a bit silent. Thank you. I was the first to break the silence. No need. He drove the car, looking straight ahead. It was nothing. You knew all along that the Goof family would use this trick. I asked. I've experienced the Goof family's way of doing things. His tone was light, with no discernible emotion. I suddenly remembered that USB drive. Olivia and you, what is your relationship? I finally asked. She's a pawn I placed by Ryan's side. Lu Jingshan answered quite frankly. I was stunned. The money you gave her was to have her get close to Ryan, gain his trust, and obtain the evidence of him stealing my company's secrets. That recording too. I had her recorded on purpose. I was completely shocked. So, all of this, from beginning to end, was a setup orchestrated by Lu Jingshan. Not only did he want to take back what belonged to him, he also wanted Ryan and Olivia to turn on each other and have their reputations ruined. This man was terrifyingly calculating. Then why are you telling me all this? I looked at him, puzzled. He could have easily used me without letting me know any of this. Lu Jingshan pulled the car over to the side of the road and turned to look at me, his dark eyes startlingly bright in the night. Because we are allies. Between allies, we should be frank. And he paused, his voice deepening a bit. I don't want to lie to you. My heart, for no reason, skipped a beat. In the car, the atmosphere became a bit ambiguous. I avoided his burning gaze, looking out the window. You said before that Ryan has someone behind him. Who is it? I changed the subject. Lu Jingshan's expression darkened. Olivia's father, Lin Jiangwo. Wasn't he dismissed from his post? He was just a scapegoat that was pushed out. Lu Jingshan sneered. The real power hiding behind the scenes is the force behind the Lin family. An existence far greater than you or I can imagine. Ryan was just a pawn they pushed forward. Now that this pawn is useless, they will soon come for you. Because that project in the south of the city is of the utmost importance to them. Alarm bells went off in my heart. It seems that things are far from as simple as I imagined. Just then, Lu Jingshan's phone rang. He glanced at the caller ID, his brow furrowing slightly. He answered the phone without speaking, and an arrogant male voice came from the other end. Lu Jingshan. Don't think you've won. The game has just begun. I heard that you've been getting very close with the Wynn family's eldest daughter recently. Tell me, if something were to happen to her, would the Wynn family go insane? Lu Jingshan's face instantly turned as gloomy as water. He hung up the phone, jerked the steering wheel, and the car made a sharp turn at the intersection, speeding away in the direction opposite to my home. Where are we going? I asked. A safe place. His voice had a gravity I had never heard before. From now on, you can't be alone. Lu Jingshan took me to his villa halfway up the mountain. The security system was top-notch, with bodyguards on patrol 24 hours a day. You could say it was impregnable. Until I take care of the trouble, you'll stay here. He led me into a guest room. The decor was simple and cool-toned, but it was fully equipped with daily necessities. All of them new. You don't have to go this far, I said. This is my own business. From the moment we became allies, your business is my business. He looked at me, his tone leaving no room for argument. Amelia, this is not child's play. They're desperados, capable of anything. I looked at his serious expression and knew he wasn't joking. In my previous life, I died in an accidental car crash. At that time, everyone thought that because of my depression. I couldn't see a way out. Now that I think about it, that car crash might not have been an accident at all. Was it because I accidentally found out something? So I was silenced. This thought sent a chill down my spine. I understand. I nodded, seeing that I had taken it in. Lu Jingshan's expression softened a little. You get some rest first. If you need anything, call me anytime. He turned to leave and closed the door for me. I was alone in a strange room, but my heart strangely felt a hint of peace. For the next few days, I stayed at Lu Jingshan's villa. He was very busy, leaving early and coming back late every day. But no matter how late, he would always come back. We didn't see each other much, but every morning, there would be breakfast he made himself on the table. In the evening, he would text me, asking how my day was. This feeling of being cherished and carefully looked after was very unfamiliar, but I didn't hate it. Audrey came to see me once, and seeing the way Lu Jingshan and I interacted, she gave a knowing, fond smile. Not bad, Amelia. It's only been a few days, and you've already melted the great iceberg, Lu. Don't be ridiculous. We're just allies. I denied it verbally, but my cheeks were getting a little hot. Allies. What kind of ally makes you breakfast personally and protects you like a national treasure? Audrey had a yeah, right expression on her face. Her stare made me a little uncomfortable, so I had to change the subject. What about Ryan? How are things? At the mention of Ryan, Audrey's expression immediately became one of gloating. What else could happen? His company went bankrupt and was liquidated. He's saddled with a ton of debt, and his house and car were all auctioned off. I heard he's now renting a 10-something square meter basement, living on instant noodles every day. The Gu family is completely finished too. Gus' father was found to have embezzled public funds and was thrown in jail. Gus' mother couldn't take the blow, had a mental breakdown, and was sent to a mental hospital. As for that Grandma Gu, after her faking illness was exposed, she was criticized behind her back by relatives and neighbors, and now she doesn't even dare to step out the door. Really, what goes around comes around. The pain their family inflicted on me in my past life, in this life, has been returned to them in another way. Listening to this, I didn't feel the expected joy in my heart. I only felt that everything was like an absurd farce. Oh right, Audrey suddenly remembered something. I heard that Ryan has been looking for you like crazy recently. What does he want from me? Who knows? Maybe he wants to borrow money from you. Audrey pursed her lips. You'd better not go soft on him. I want. Of course I want. There is nothing between Ryan and me anymore. However, I never expected that he would reappear in my world in such a way. That night, Lu Jingshan had an important social engagement and didn't come back. I was alone in the villa, feeling a bit restless. Late at night, my phone suddenly rang. It was an unfamiliar number. I hesitated for a moment, but still answered it. On the other end of the line was Ryan's cold and eerie laughter. Hee hee, Amelia. I found you. My heart skipped a beat, and I shot up in bed. Where are you? I'm right outside your window. I subconsciously looked out the window. It was pitch black outside the window, and I couldn't see anything. Ryan, don't you play tricks? I'm not playing tricks. His voice as if it was right next to my ear. Amelia, let's play a game. A game. About rebirth. My blood, in this instant, almost froze. What did you say? On the other end of the phone, Ryan's voice was full of madness and glee. Are you surprised? Amelia, did you think that you were the only one who came back through rebirth? I came back too. Amelia. Ryan's voice came through the receiver, carrying a creepy stickiness. I also remember. Remember everything from the last life. Remember how you died. Remember how much I regretted it. My mind went blank. My whole body was ice cold, as if I had been thrown into an ice cellar. He was reborn too. How is this possible? If he was reborn too, why did he still make the same choice as the last life at the birthday banquet? Why did he still protect Olivia? To hurt me? Why? I heard my own voice trembling. Why? On the other end of the phone, Ryan sounded as if he had heard the biggest joke in the world. He started laughing maniacally. Because I wanted to see, in this life, without me, if you could really live a better life. I wanted to see if you were really as heartless as you pretended to be. And the result, you turned around and got with Lu Jingshan. Amelia, you promiscuous woman. His voice became sharp and frantic, filled with unwillingness and resentment. If I'm miserable, you can forget about being happy. Amelia, I love you so much. I've done so much for you. Why can't you see it? In the last life, it was my fault. I admit it. But in this life, I gave you a chance. You were the one who didn't want it. Listening to his jumbled, illogical ravings, the shock in my heart was slowly replaced by a sense of absurdity. So, it wasn't that he didn't know. He knew everything. Yet he still chose the most foolish, most hurtful way. His so-called love was nothing but selfish possession and insane control. Ryan, you're really a madman. I said coldly. Yes, I am crazy. You drove me crazy. I'm outside the villa right now. Open the door. Let's talk face to face and clear everything up. I have nothing to talk about with you. I hung up the phone directly and immediately dialed Lu Jingshan's number. The phone rang for a long time before it was answered. The environment on the other end was very noisy. It seemed he was still at a social engagement. Hello. Lu Jingshan's voice carried a hint of alcohol. Lu Jingshan. Ryan is outside the villa. I said very quickly. He seems to have gone mad. He said he was also reborn. The other end of the phone went silent in an instant. A few seconds later, Lu Jingshan's calm and steady voice came through. Don't be afraid. Stay in the room. Lock the door. And don't go anywhere. I've already notified the bodyguards. They will handle it. I'll be back right away. His voice, like a calming pill, instantly settled my flustered heart. I obediently locked the door, hid under the covers, and pricked up my ears to listen to the commotion outside. Soon, I heard a clamor from downstairs, mixed with Ryan's frantic yelling and the bodyguard scolding. The sounds quickly faded away. I knew he had been taken away. I let out a long sigh of relief and lay on the bed, completely drained. Rebirth. Ryan was also reborn. This realization gave me a whole new understanding of the tragedy of my past life. It wasn't a simple betrayal, but a complete tragedy orchestrated by a selfish madman. I don't know how much time passed before I heard the sound of a car engine downstairs. Lu Jingshan was back. I put on my slippers and ran downstairs. He had just entered, still carrying the chill from outside and the faint smell of alcohol. Seeing me, he strode over and pulled me into his arms. His embrace was very warm and strong, with a reassuring presence. It's okay now, he whispered in my ear. I buried my face in his chest, feeling his strong heartbeat, and the heart that had been hanging in suspense finally settled down completely. He's been taken away by the police, Lu Jingshan said. He trespassed on private property and is also suspected of making threats. That's enough to get him in a lot of trouble. Thank you, I said muffledly. He let go of me, held my face, and gently caressed the corner of my eye with his thumb. I told you, your business is my business. His gaze was deep and gentle, as if it was going to suck me in. Amelia. He seemed to want to say something, but in the end, it just turned into a sigh.